What is up, Boobie Goaters? If you're in the loop at all, you know that right now I have a cold. I don't know if it's the flu or a cold because I'm getting aches and pains in my back, my nose is running like a sieve, and I'm running a fever. I don't know how I'm watching two toddlers right now and keeping my house clean. I haven't folded laundry, but I did almost all the laundry. I can get the kids on that, and they can do dishes, man, when they get home. They'll do it because I'll ask them to. And why do I want him to do it? Because I have 10 kids, guys. I got 5 girls and 5 boys. But that's not what we're here today. We don't need to talk about me. Well, we will be talking about me. Let's face it, I've been on the carnivore diet since March 3rd of 2023. I've lost over 80 pounds, and I'm a slow loser for sure. I lost 50 in my first 3 months, but the rest of it's been coming off kind of slow. And that's okay because I feel way better than I did before, and to me that is enough to keep me going on carnivore, to keep me just, some people, man, have stalls for 5 years, so hopefully I'm not one of those, but you know. Anyway, I am kind of feverish, as I mentioned, but I was suggested to make this video. Hi Lori. Always suggesting good videos, you know that? You know that. We're just gonna go into varicose veins. Why not? Let's get in these legs. Let's put those shorts on, you know? Boom. Dude, have you seen my legs after doing 2 weeks of burpees? I think we did even more than 2 weeks of burpees. Oh, at least you guys watched me do them. But check out those muscles, man. I think, yeah, burpees are awesome. If you don't know, I did slip and fall and hurt my shoulder, and then I took some ibuprofen, and also I took Excedrin, but at different times. And the ibuprofen made me feel like it changes my mood. I do not like it. My demeanor was not great. And the Excedrin, I don't know, guys. I don't even know if it helped. Usually I don't take anything, but I hurt my arm worse when I was helping Flash fix his bike than just after I fell. And because of that, you know, the ingredients in those things are like dextrose and maltodextrin and all that crap that I get very susceptible to colds like right after I take something like that. So I probably either picked something up at the pharmacy because, you know, since I have these bangs lately, I've been touching my face like this, and I could touch something and then touch my face and then I'm sick. Because it still happens. I do get sick on carnivore, but not a lot. And how far this year, guys, since you know me, have I been sick? Maybe 3 times this year? I don't know. But it's not been, like, I had a cough or something that would not go away. That was the worst. But now it's gone. Now my nose is running like crazy, and I'm not having it. I don't like it, but whatever. All right, you beautiful, wonderful Boobie Goaters, what is up? We are going to talk a little bit about varicose veins. So varicose veins are caused by faulty valves within the veins that allow blood to pool. I have blood that will pool throughout the day in my lower left leg ankle. And that is, my left leg is the one that has the veinage for sure. And there's treatment options, and let's just talk about some stuff. So I remember being like 13, 14, and we're in Jersey, and we're hanging out at my aunt's house for Easter, and everybody's sitting around the table, and the older ladies were talking about how they had varicose vein surgery and how much their legs feel so much better than before. And I was like, I'm not going to have that problem, blah, blah, blah. You know, like silly little teenager. Fast forward with my 3rd child, Isaac. I'm about 6 months into our pregnancy, and he was measuring large, so they decided to do the gestational diabetes test with me, which was like a 3-hour test, and it totally sucks, and I wouldn't recommend it ever. They should just say you got diabetes and Act like you do and eat like you got it and check your sugar like you got it instead of taking that nasty crap and almost vomiting. And if you vomit, you got to take your test all over again. They take your blood. They take your blood. They tell you not to eat. They take your blood in the morning. They make you drink the sugar thing. And then they take your blood every hour for 3 hours. It's like a 3-hour glucose test. It sucks. But I had to do it with Isaac. And I failed miserably. Or I guess you could say I passed because I had gestational diabetes. And that was a whirlwind of something that I never even knew about. During that pregnancy, babies usually sit on your, there's like an artery down there or something in your stomach that they're sitting on. And for some ladies, it will activate your varicose veins, activate, you know, like it happens. So I got this little tiny vein on my left thigh. And it didn't hurt, you know, and the doctors never said anything. And I never really talked about it because I don't like talking to doctors. I hate being at the doctor's office. But can you imagine? I spent half my life at the doctor's just with taking kids to the doctors, me going to doctor visits myself, you know, like I've done it, man, and then some. So I've been to the doctors quite often, a lot, and I don't like hanging out there so much. So if there's something that it doesn't really bother me, I'll forget to talk about it too, because that's just my personality. I will forget to talk about the important things and be like, oh, well, you have a great day too. Just get me the hell out of here because I'm sick of waiting in the waiting room. So anyway, that vein was there and it didn't grow much. It was like maybe this long. And then after the fact, my mother-in-law saw it and she was all like, oh, I got one too. And hers is like little teeny tiny thing. And I'm like, wow, congratulations. Yay for you, I guess. And nay for my kids, I guess. Apparently it skips a generation on the maternal side of my family. My mom didn't get them, but she got spider veins. And her mom had spider veins and varicose veins. And then my father, his mother had varicose veins and she had surgery. She was talking about it, you know? And yeah, I remember those ladies sitting around that table talking about how varicose veins suck so bad, you know? Like, they're not the greatest. You don't want them. And the surgery makes my legs feel so much better. Yeah. So fast forward to, well, I get pregnant with Petrus and my vein grows. I get pregnant with Eloise, the vein grows. With Scarlett, the vein grows, and so on. And now I'm pregnant. Well, right before I get pregnant with Flash, I got a cool doctor, and she was awesome. And we talked about my varicose veins, and she got me to a specialist, and I got to have surgery on them finally after all these years. We're talking 2009 was when my vein showed up, and I actually got work done on my veins in 2016. And finally, I get to have it removed. And that's awesome. Now, like anybody else, before you're looking into getting your varicose veins removed, you look into, can you get rid of varicose veins without procedures? And the answer is no. You've got to have ablation surgery. Well, that's what I had. Is when they give you a bunch of Valium, basically. I was on Valium. Yeah. And you're feeling kind of funny, but you're watching everything happen and you're watching your surgery happen, but you can't really do anything. It was really weird. And they kept taking this. I got my veins electrically shocked. And my elaboration was an endovenous ablation. And it's a less invasive surgery where they take a catheter, it's inserted into your vein, and they used a laser or they can use a chemical to close your vein. And I had, what they were able to remove on me was my great saphenous vein. It's often treated for and removed to address varicose veins or vein reflux, which can cause leg pain, swelling, and other symptoms. So that's what I had mine done. In the saphenous vein, particularly blood can flow backwards from your heart down to your ankles. And in doing so, it can either stretch the main, smaller veins coming off the great sapphirous vein, resulting in varicosities and varicose veins, of course, or it can cause inflammation, damage to thousands of capillaries. Like, if you actually ever get the chance to check out my ankles, you will see all my damaged capillaries, all the blood going the wrong way. Even though they got rid of my great sapphirous, they shocked that one. They couldn't get the really long one that looks like an octopus vein off my leg. So fast forwarding to 2020, I'm pregnant with Emmett. And for some reason, I was like, I need to go outside and cut down some trees. And nobody wanted to come with me, because that was something I loved doing with the family, is that we all came out together. We started clearing parts of this farm, and we would just like we would work for the day, and it would feel good to work. And then you would get like a really nice sleep, because whenever you work really well, you get a good night's sleep. So I was all about it. And I go outside and I'm looking at trees, and one of these trees look really dead. And I'm like, I shake this tree, and it is like, golly, that thing must have been like 20 feet high. I shook it. It swings back because it's dead, and it falls back, and it hits my varicose vein. I go to the emergency room. Everybody's making sure the baby's okay. Baby's fine, because I didn't fall on the baby. The freaking tree hit my varicose vein. So they just ordered me to get around to antibiotics. But I had to go see my doctor after, like they always do. So I had to go see my doctor after, or make an appointment to see my doctor, but I didn't really need to, because I was going to my doctor like not even a few days later. And before the tree hit my leg, it was kind of like a hernia at my hip. And I'm pretty sure it was connected to my varicose vein. Now, in the weeks that happened after that tree hit my leg, I got like a huge bump where the tree hit on my varicose vein. And they just wanted me to do a round of antibiotics just because. And that's why Emmett is the way he is. So darn cute. Anyway, after that tree hit me, my varicose vein didn't grow with Emmett at all. Like, they usually grows like an inch or two while I'm pregnant with a kid. And it will usually be actually thicker and feel heavy, and I would have to wear pantyhose, but like compression pantyhose, which I was supposed to wear, but I didn't wear them because they took forever to put on. Medical grade ones are horrible and take forever, and I'd rather just lay on the couch and put my leg above my head. And that's what I normally did, because it will get your blood flowing back to your heart real easy. Anyway, a few weeks after that, my hernia that I had felt really hard, like I had surgery on a vein. So that's what happened after my vein surgery. What happens is your veins feel really hard because they've been zapped, and they will just break up on their own, and kind of your body gets rid of them. So, I mean, that's what happens when you get varicose vein surgery. And that was kind of happening like to my hernia. It got really hard, and I had a little bit of a blood clot where the tree hit my leg, but it went down significantly. And they were just, did my blood work with Raquel. When they did my blood work, you could tell that I still had a blood clot in my system on the blood test. So that was kind of neat that they could tell that. But I didn't get any blood thinners or anything because I was pregnant. And anyway, the hernia broke up and went away. Never had it again. And then my varicose vein on my left leg didn't hurt anymore. And with that happening, it didn't hurt anymore, and I kind of felt like I had surgery on my leg, but I also have this blood clot that is like in my body. We don't know where. Hopefully it already just like it passed wherever it needed to pass, and it's on with its life, but I don't think that's how they work. Because when I started Carnivore Diet, I started in March. In May, right before my birthday, I felt like this weird lump come up right here, and there's a vein right here, and it continues. It goes to your neck and into your brain, and this is like partly miracle. What happened was that something popped here, and then blood started rushing under my skin. I could feel it, and I was like, oh my gosh, should I go to the emergency room? And then I was like, well, if I live, I die. You know, if I live, I live. If I die, I die. Whatever. But like, that vein right here is so sore still from where it popped. But it's healed. I'm not dead, so here I am alive. I didn't die. But I think, and I'm pretty sure, that's my blood clot, and it popped right there. And now my veins are stellar and awesome. I know my on carnivore, what happens is because it's an anti-inflammatory diet and it's such an elimination diet, my left leg doesn't hurt. And it wouldn't hurt normally. It would just feel kind of heavy at the end of the day. It doesn't feel like that ever. I don't really have to lift my leg above my head anymore at all, because it's not, it doesn't hurt that bad to me, and it feels great. So I like to joke that I still have a blood clot floating around on carnivore because, you already said that, so anti-inflammatory. My leg doesn't hurt as bad, and you know, me being on it all the time, me exercising with it, me doing all the things I do with my legs, they're not heavy at the end of the day. They're not super tired like they used to be. I sometimes will put on a compression sock on my left leg if I'm traveling long distances, or if I'm going to do like some major hiking and stuff. I think it's just a good precaution, and it always feels better. Not like, because I've had medical grade pantyhose and I'm supposed to wear them all the time, but let's face it, ladies, I'm not going to do that, because medical grade compression, whatever, man, compression pantyhose is awful. They're horrible to put on. And I said that twice because I mean it. They are. But if you need them, by all means, wear them. But it just doesn't hurt anymore. I don't have tattoos. I don't have piercings. This varicose vein that looks like an octopus arm, that is mine. That is something I got that is gifted to me from my grandmothers. And you know what? I don't mind. I like them. I started exercising and I got like nice muscles, but you know, you still got like some sag and stuff. But these muscles right here, I could start to see there was like veinage happening, and I'm like, I'm not going to use the machine that much anymore. I don't want to varicose veins on my arm like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I didn't want to be that scary. I just wanted to exercise and have better muscle depth. But whatever, you know. This vein has grown a little bit on carnivore, but the pain in my left leg is non-existent. That's what I wanted to say. It not being heavy, it's not... It felt just really heavy and draggy all the time. It wasn't very painful. My varicose veins never been painful, or I would have been like kind of more loud about it. Like when I hurt my shoulder, I was pretty much bitching about it, because that's the kind of person I am. If I've got an injury, it's something new. It hasn't happened in a while, and I tell people about it, especially if it hurts me over and over and over again. Like, I'm in so much pain. Come on. But I didn't take any more pain relievers. When I get fevers, like right now I have one, I like to let it just run its course. For me, I think it's the best, is nature's medicine. And it's not a high fever either. I'm fine. So that's my varicose vein story. Do I recommend varicose vein, like people with varicose veins going carnivore? Of course. Any anti-inflammatory diet is welcome for somebody that has legs that swell out like that. And yes, my left leg is bigger than my right leg, you astute people, because it is messed up by varicose veins. All right, Boobie Goaters, I hope that was something kind of interesting. If not, let me know. Drop it in the comments. I hope that was helpful, if anything. And if not, yeah, I got dirt in my fingernails again. I got to scrub them a little better. I've been repotting up my plants, my tomatoes today. And I was like, I'm not going to do a real video. my fever. I'm like either really, really hot or really, really cold. All right, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for hanging out with me. And yeah, varicose veins suck, but also they're a badge of honor, man. Especially if they can't get taken away. And you know what's really crazy is that the anesthesiologist that I had when I had my C-section with Raquel, he was really cool. He was like, my wife has that same exact vein because the doctors couldn't get into the artery thing in my hip to shock it to kill the vein, to make it look nice. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't do that. And the reason why they couldn't do that, and I'm glad they couldn't do it, is because I found out a week later I was pregnant with Flash. So there you go. Have a great day, Boobie Goaters. Bye. Did it, guys.